My channel. I'm Doris and I'm here to share with you about today's world news. We're going to talk about France and its social security system existence and its existence in Western Europe. It is difficult to go from luxury to thrift, and welfare-ism in Western Europe faces challenges. On January 31st, local time, another national strike broke out in France. From the island to big cities, millions of demonstrators flooded the French streets. Larger than first round of demonstrations on January 19th, the Associated Press reported that this is the latest collision of war triggered by the Macron administration's plan to delay the retirement age. The French government plans to extend the legal retirement age from now 62 to 64, and to delay their age for a full pension. The Labor Department estimates the measure will add an additional 17.7 billion euros to annual pension income. National strikes and demonstrations are a crucial test for the Macron government and its opponents. In recent decades, a major mass social mobilization has been all about the explosion of retirement reform. In 1995, in 2003, in 2010, and 2019. But this year's strikes are far more frequent than usual, reflecting the anger of the French public. However, the truth is not necessarily in the hands of many people. Because economic situations has long changed, France's social welfare system has not made ends meet, with the suspicion of raising the lazy welfare doctrine is facing great challenges. After World War II, France, like many other Western European countries, established a so-called cradle-to-grave social security system dedicated to build a welfare state. Building a welfare society in Western Europe is a proud global institution, not even in the United States, which has not even established a universal health insurance system. The initiator of the social security system in Western Europe was Prussia, more than 100 years ago, pioneered by Bismarck, known as the Iron Prime Minister, who promulgated the disease insurance, industrial accident insurance, and endowment insurance law, and initially established a social security system covering the whole country, and Germany became the first country in the world to establish a social security system. The German experience gradually spread to Western Europe. After the end of World War II, Western Europe entered a period of rapid development in 20 or 30 years, and the country successfully established a set of social security welfare systems. There is no doubt that the social security system embodies the conscience of modern society and is a great progress of human civilization. But at the same time, it should be noted that the social security system is not unchanged. It must keep pace with the times and complement social and economic development. Otherwise, bad things will be done with good intentions. One of the common criticisms of social security system is raising the lazy. Some people might take advantage of the loopholes in the policy and prefer to live with unemployment benefits and housing subsidies, which dampen many people's enthusiasm for employment. The bottleneck faced by the social security system has caused many people of insight to think about where the welfare society goes is a hot issue in the constant debates of the European elite. Specifically in France, 2 decades ago, the media warned that it will go bankrupt because of an aging population and sluggish economic growth. With the social security system established in 1945, the average life expectancy of the population was 65 years. Today, the average life expectancy in France is 82.4 years. And the support rate, the ratio over 65 to working age, is 37.3%, nearly 7 percentage points higher than average of OECD countries. However, against the degree of aging, France's legal and actual retirement ages are well below the average in developed countries. A large number of French workers can retire by the age of 60 through a variety of early retirement channels. Since the beginning of this country, France's pension spreading on country has been rising from 11.67% in 2000 to 13.8% in 2021. As the state is responsible for various pension systems, the state is under great financial pressure. France's ruling elite has long realized that reform of the retirement system was imperative, but failed to do it due to the spread of welfare-ism and the cheats of most people. Since the beginning of the new century, successive French governments have wanted to follow the German example and carry out reform, launching the retirement system reform with the purpose of raising the retirement age. The main measures include raising the minimum age for pension, extending the payment period of full pension, and promoting the reform of the integration of occupational pension, from Sarkozy to Hollande. Successive French governments have worked hard to promote the reform of the retirement system, but they have been strangled in the tide of public protests, and even caused the ruling crisis. Now the wheel of fate turns to Macron. In fact, Macron initiated the retirement system reform in his first term, but was forced to give up because of high social resistance. Now in his second term, Macron has again fought reform, showing his determination to fight against skills. Macron's new reform measures include gradually delaying the legal retirement age from 62 to 64, with a delay of 6 months each year, raising the pension payment period and the minimum pension standard from 2027 or 172 quarters, integrating the special departments, which favorable retirement benefits such as transportation and electricity into the universal retirement system. Mr. Macron is an ambitious president who wants to do something, but in his reforms faces a less favorable environment. The Russia-Ukraine conflict has depressed Europe's economy. High inflation and unemployment. Polls show a majority of French are angry at the cost of living crisis triggered by high inflation and oppose pension reform plans. But Mr. Macron intends to stand firm. He stressed that reforms are crucial to ensure the viability of the pension system. It is difficult to go from luxury to thrift. If Macron could carry out the reform to the end, he could survive in the history. And if he could not stand it up, it might be another Sarkozy. That's all I have for today. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and like. See you next episode.